What if the first investor you need in your business is not a bank? If you can hear me clearly, quickly, let's just put type in the comment section. I can hear you clearly. I want to be sure you can hear me. If you can hear me clearly, put in the comment section. I can hear you. All right, good. If you can hear me clearly, let's just put type in the comment. Now, very good. Now, good. So that was my story a couple of years ago. Then, as I begin to what? Ask myself this question: what will 3,500 do in the midst of the things we need to buy? Then I realized one thing I'm about to share with you today. The number one thing that we understand is this: is that sweat capital actually has three dimensions, and it shows in three different ways. And number one we're looking at today is what? Start with labor. Now, many of us say we want to start business. We don't have money. How do we start? This thing is a general problem all over the world. Mostly here in Africa, especially here in Nigeria. Now, the question is this: how can you survive it? Looking at the statistics. Now, one thing I learned is this: I realized that when you want to start a business, if you don't have enough funds to start, you must start by asking yourself, what can I do with the little I have now to start? Because the truth of the matter is this: life has actually prepared us for the future ahead of us, and we must be strategic about cherishing what we have. Like my case, for example, the other time, I remember vividly that I was started with 3,500. I have to, most times, there was no money to buy generator because power was a major issue, even up to now. Sometimes I will have to go to my friend's place to pass the night in the shop till the next morning, just to be able to meet up with ironing customers' clothes that will come and deliver to them the next morning. That is how I started. That's how I started. You know, and I've been able to do this 1 month, 2 months, not quite long. Not quite long. I realized that we're able to begin to save little by little, by little, by little, by little. And before we know it, we're able to get our first generator just from saving little. We don't have money. We started with just minimum 3,500 a day. So we have to put in the work. For a couple of months, my family, actually, I couldn't pass the night at all. Because I have to go out to pass the night so that I'll be able to meet up with customers. Because there's something I understand very clearly. Customers pay us to render service, not to give them an excuse. This is very important. Customers pay us to render service and not to give excuse. So I have to put in the work. For some of you looking at me today, now the question is this: I want to start business. The first thing some of us think about is, how do I run the shop? How do I brand it? How do I package it? Most of the time, to raise money, you must start with putting in the work. You must put in the labor. You must exchange labor in exchange for raising money. These are some of the things that we must understand. And because the truth of the matter is, while doing that, you begin to gain more depth of your business. You have more understanding, and you're able to build what is called resilience. Everything big that you see all over the world started small. So you must be willing to put in the work. You must put in the work. Look at my slide. Start with labor before overhead. Many a times, many of us want to start business big. You have an idea of a business, and the first thing you think about is a shop. Branding the shop. Getting the first time. All these things are good. But the truth is, when the capital is minimal, when the capital is not much, you must learn to put in the labor. Very critical. You must put in the labor. The question you must ask is, can I start from my house? Can I do the work and do the supply myself at the beginning to be able to recoup what? Capital. This is what my story a couple of years ago. So you must put in the labor before the overhead. Sweat capital say, what can my hands do now before money arrives? And that is, you must invest, put in the time, put in the work, and use your skills to be able to raise money. And the truth is this, many of us actually have a skill that we've acquired over the years. And we can actually put this to work by putting in the labor to raise capital. So many times when I see young people saying, I want to start a business, I need 5 million, I need 10 million. I say, it's not as if it's bad. If you can afford it, why not? But the truth is, they're looking at the statistics from PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, simply says that over 96% of MSME are the ones that generate over 80% of jobs in Nigeria. So capital is limited. So we must learn to look inward and put in the labor. Come on, type in the comment section. I will put in the labor. You must put in the labor. This thing is very, very important. Very important. Now, as you begin to journey through business, there's something you must understand. You don't envy another man. Yeah, the man may start with 5 million, 10 million. It's good. If you can afford it, why not? But the truth of the matter is this. Research has proven that no business can actually say it's truly successful or scaling not until it's past 10 years. There are so many people that will start a business together, my brothers, my sisters. A couple of almost a decade ago, some are no more. Now, many of these people started big. They started big. But for some of them, they could not sustain it. So you will understand that it's not about the amount of money you put in. I'm not saying money is not important. What matters is what put in the labor. From there, you are able to get more depth of your business and build resilience. What build businesses is resilience. When you know what is available, my brother, my sister, most of the time, the resilience may not be there because everything is in place. So when I listen to my brothers and sisters all over Africa, all over the world saying, I need money before I can start, it is true, but it's not completely true. Hear my story. Put in the labor. This is very important. Come on, tell me in the comment section, I will put in the labor. I'm excited already about this. I will put in the labor. Then the other thing I also begin to wonder is this. Have you ever wondered that why is it that most of the time when people want to start businesses, they are not willing to make the necessary sacrifice needed? I was shocked. Let me quickly shock with this. I was listening over the week to Aliko Dangote. Now, this man said something that struck me. He said, after completion of the refineries, and now they started paying dividend to investors, him as a person has not withdraw any single money from the Dangote refinery. They are reinvesting back into the business. That's amazing. Now, sometimes when you see these people, you will begin to understand that there is something they know that we need to learn. So it's about sacrifice, putting in back. For some of us starting businesses, that little profit you have made, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, it's not the money. That money can actually be what put in back into the business. But just as the sacrifices you must make, if you are not willing to make the sacrifice, you cannot actually scale in business. Because most of the time, the money we need to start businesses is in your hand. It is in your hand. Do you know that some of us hold 2 phones, 3 phones for what? And you are saying you need money to start business. That can be exchanged for capital. Look at the one that is more important to you and be willing to sacrifice 1 or 2 of the phones you have. I'm amazed. Sometimes I see some young people holding 2 phones, 3 phones. As a business person, I don't have 2, 3 phones. I'm not saying holding of phones is bad. What we are saying is, for many of us saying we need money to start business, just look at the hair you are putting on. That is your capital. Look at the phone you are holding. That's your capital. Look at the bag you are putting on. That's your capital. So you must be willing to sacrifice. Business is war. If you are not willing to put in the work, you are not willing to succeed in business. Because every successful enterprise I've come to learn from, I understand that there's something you can't take out from them, is sacrifice. Come on, tell me in the comment section, I will sacrifice. I will sacrifice. Let's look at this slide together. Now look at it. Now, sacrifice strategically. Give up today to gain tomorrow. Wow. Give up short-term comfort for long-term growth. You know, you really need to check out our last video, how to build business from $0. Now, there's a story I shared there about my story. You need to check out that video, where I talked about how a mentor of mine was able to start his own real estate business by just investing his little salary there as far back as 1979. And today, that land, that property he bought is worth over hundreds of millions of naira. And he told me something that struck me. He said that same time, many of his colleagues, they were working together in a paid employment. So many of them were buying cars. Many of them were living well, but was living frugally, just to be able to save up to pay complete for the land. And today, many of these people are nowhere to be found. The cars are no more, but the land is there appreciating in value, because they don't create lands again. This man was able to sacrifice strategically. So for you in business or about to start business, my question for you is this: what are you willing to sacrifice now for the long-term goal? What are you willing to sacrifice? In my case, I shared my story too at the earlier stage of this episode, that I actually have to sacrifice most of my nights sleeping out just to be able to meet up with customers' demands so we can deliver on time. And it was from there we're able to recoup what capital to buy our first generator plant. Looking back, now that's almost close to a decade ago, I no longer do that anymore. By the grace of God, we have a couple of more than one branches with some staffs. I don't even get involved most of the time with the business anymore. I'm not fully into the real estate, my consulting business. But the question is this: there is a sacrifice to pay. Come on, tell me in the comment section. There is a sacrifice to pay. So every big man or woman you know, please, the secrets of every successful man or woman is in their stories. So you don't copy the results, you copy what the principle that produce the result. Because most of the time I see people say, I claim it in Jesus' name. There's nothing about claiming it. But the question is, are you willing to pay the price? There's a price to pay. So many other people say, how do I raise money? Ask yourself, what do you have now that you know you don't really need, that you can do without, that you can sell in exchange to raise something to start up that business? Now let me shock you. There is pride and dignity in starting small. You start small and grow big. That's how it works. So we must be willing to sacrifice. Come on, tell me in the comment section, I will sacrifice. I will sacrifice. Never forget the story of Dangote I shared with you now. This man keep putting back his profit into the business. Look at it. Make deliberate sacrifices that move your business forward. That money you have, that profit you have made for this year, can you put that same money back into the business? Reinvest it back to make it more solid, inject more life, cash flow into that business. To be able to improve the capacity to produce better and faster. Because the truth is, I don't believe that any man or woman has money problem. No. We only lack the knowledge to be able to start small. And these are the ways. I just shared my story with you. So we must be willing to sacrifice. Come on, have a conversation. I will sacrifice. Now look at it. What do we need to sacrifice? We must learn to sacrifice time, money, comfort for the future that we want. Sweat Capital says, what am I willing to give up today to build tomorrow? Now, I'm being honest with you. Now, the truth is this. No man, no woman, no government is coming to help us. That's the truth. And hope you know that for so many small businesses, banks are not actually friendly with them. And that simply means that you must learn what to do in generate our income internally. Most of the time, banks give money to people that are already doing well. You don't blame them. Nobody wants to take so much risk on you. If you yourself are not going to take the risk on yourself. That's the truth. Those days when I was growing up in business, I used to get very angry. Look at us, we need just 1 million, we can't get. And look at these people, they don't need the money, they're getting 20 million, 100 million, no. Because I also understand that this is the law of life. Just remember the story of the parable, the story of the parable of the dollar, that's the talents issue, whereby the one that was given one buried his own, and that one that was given one that buried his own was collected from him and given to the one that has more. That's how it is. So I'm talking to you, my brothers and sisters, today. What are you willing to sacrifice? Genuinely ask yourself. You don't need to look at the people starting big. It's good for them. What matters is not now. What matters is 10 years from now. Where do you want to be? You may start small, but you don't have to remain small. Come on, tell me in the comment section, I will start small and grow big. This is very, very important. I'm excited really about this. Now look, one of the things I've learned that have helped us over the period of years in business for a couple of years, I understand that we must live frugally. Now, there's a price to pay. But many a time when I see people saying, I need money to start, and I look at them from head to toe, the capital is already on them. There's a price to pay. They must learn to live frugally. For years, there are some certain things I have to deprive myself from. Why? Because I may want it, but I can't afford it yet. Now, let me share something with you. Recently, over a couple of weeks, I was listening to the chairman of UBA, that the president of Tony Lumen, when he said something that struck me. He said, look, why he could not buy cars for years, he was investing into his business. He was investing into his business. But today, he said he has flown over how many private jets on that day when I was going to his interview. On one day, he has flown over 2 to 3 private jets from one location to that. This is a man that refused to work. It's not that he cannot afford it, but he was able to delay gratification and keep reinvesting back into the business. Look, my brother, my sister, the truth is this. For we to be able to raise capital for our business, we must be willing to start small. Start with your labor. What can you do that you don't need so much money to start? The truth is this, life has actually was offered us valuable experience. Every one of us here have one knowledge or the other that life has bestowed on us. Can you take advantage of the opportunity? For example, you said, I'm a teacher. I teach a school. Can I come up with a weekend classes to be able to what? Teach students either via Zoom or teach students online or teach them physically on site? Are you saying I'm a professional? I'm an accountant by profession. Can I actually consult for small businesses and let them understand the essence of bookkeeping and balancing their books? This can be done on weekends. I was shocked. I went somewhere today when one of the government staff told me, he said, look, I learn to work every weekend. I was so impressed. I said, look, that's a good one. Because the truth of the matter is, the Nigeria we are today, all over Africa, even in the world, skill set is very, very important. I'm an advocate for having multiple sources of income, not multiple struggles anyway. So this man was willing to, the man was putting back his money into the business. And today, this man is over $2 billion worth. There was a man that a couple of years ago refused to buy a car, keep reinvesting back into the business. So to you looking at me today, can you see that you already have the money to start? Look out around you. What can you start with? That's the truth. So I sincerely believe that no man has money problem. We only lack the knowledge and what the courage to start. That's what we lack. Because I have passed through this stage and I know what it means to start without money, to start very small and frugal. But by the grace of God today, God helped me, and I believe that can also be your case. So those of you watching us today, what are you willing to sacrifice for your business to scale? What are you willing to sacrifice for you to be able to start that business or that idea of yours? This is very, very important. Now look at this first slide. Now the area of reinvesting back into your business. Reinvesting back into your business. Look at it. Reinvest before rewarding yourself. Put profits back into your business first. Feed the business before the business feeds you. I'm excited about this. I don't know about you, because one of the things I've learned is this is very true. Because, see, most of the multi-millionaires, billionaires you have seen today, there was a time in their life when they have to put in everything they had back into the business. For some of us small, medium enterprises, why I'm so passionate about it, because the truth is, statistics have shown that over 80% of medium, micro, small, medium enterprise are the ones that actually will generate job opportunities for our people in Nigeria, even in the world at large. The word that clearly says that over 90% of small, medium enterprises actually are the ones that create over 90% of the jobs all over the world. This is alarming. So you will understand that small businesses are very vital to any economy. So my brothers and sisters, please, I must sincerely ask you this question. Ask yourself this question. What can I start with? Can you sit down and just itemize? What do I have that I can start with? Do I need to look at the things I have that I don't really have more need for? Can I be able to sell the job at my case to be able to raise capital to start? For you ladies, what do I have that I can start with? This is very important, because the truth is this: funding or getting investor is good, but they also need track record. Nobody's going to take a risk on us if we are not taking a risk on ourselves. And the only way we can take a risk on ourselves is to start small. Start with what you have. What you have is enough. It's enough. I'm excited to have you here today, because I sincerely believe that a couple of years to come, I will be reading about you and I will be hearing your story, and I will have come to say, thank God for this person. Because we need more small, medium enterprise to grow. We need them to grow into large corporations. But it all starts from starting small. This is very important. Because the truth is this: big organizations make headlines, but small, medium enterprises are the ones that would make livelihood available to people all over the world. Just imagine that your small business, you employ 2 people, 3 people. Just imagine 1 million people in Nigeria, 1 million people in Africa, or 10 million people in Africa employ minimum of three people. That's all about 10 million entrepreneurs. Just imagine the numbers, considering it to what the government will employ. So you must understand that small, medium enterprise, they are the lifeblood of every economy. So today, I believe you have seen the reason why how to raise capital. It starts with what? Putting in the labor before the money comes. And number two, we look at today's world. What can you sacrifice to raise money? What can you sacrifice to make that business grow? And number three, we look at today's world, reinvesting back into the business. That money you have, can you put it back to make the business grow better and scale better? I want to thank you very much for joining us today, and I believe you've gotten value from today's episode. Please share with us any other thought you know that can actually help us to raise capital that you know that we've not talked about. Because we have 7 days to cover a lot of topics, and I believe this 7 days you learn a lot of things about raising capital to start your business or start your idea. Never ever forget, no one lives long enough to make all the business. We learn from those ahead. If you got value from today's episode, do it to hit the subscribe button, share this, turn on the notification so that more people can get to know about this. Thank you, and see you tomorrow in our next day 2 live session. God bless you. I remain your boy, Michael Abanye. Thank you.